how did you earn respect from your team and or your community?
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Carr2Carr. I'm Ramon.
And hi, I'm Dana. And today we'll discuss a question that was asked from the audience, and it is, how did you earn respect from your team and or your community?
Well, I think you got to walk it how you talk it, you know. I think the people that you supervise expect you to go by the books. If you hold them accountable, it's something as simple as if you you expect them to come to work on time, you got to come to work on time. If you expect them to do their reports very accurately and thorough, you got to do your reports very accurately and thorough. And so sometimes you're going to have a LeBron James or a Michael Jordan on your team. And I think the best way to get buy-in is if you show the rest of the team that no matter who you're on the team, everybody has the exact same rules and regulations. And when you do that, I think you're able to get the buy-in from the whole team. Community-wise, you know, did a lot of shopping in the community and things of that nature. And I'll tell you a quick story. I remember there was a time that the chief went on TV and was talking about homicides and shootings in the city of Miami were down. And so one of the owners came to me and he was like, hey, so shootings and deaths are down, and the area had a lot of shootings and deaths in the area that his business was in. And I was like, you know what? Let me talk to the chief and see where those numbers came from. And so I was able to talk to the chief. I went back to the business owner. And so I think being receptive to the community on stuff that, you know, may or may not be what they agree with can help get that community buy-in. And so that went a long way with police community relations.
For sure. So those are great attributes to build teamwork with the community and with your team. So some of the things I did to earn respect with my team and the community was, one, treated them the way I wanted to be treated. And again, you talked about fairness. I also treated them fair. I also led, and I'm preferably talking about my team first, I also led with my expectations. And so once everyone knows pretty much where you're going with your vision and expectations, we're all on the same page. And so I led with that. I treated them the way they wanted to be treated, and I treated them as if we were a team. So their input was valuable to me because I was very comfortable with knowing what I didn't know. So I surrounded my people who had strengths where I knew I was more weak in. Mm-hmm. And so if they wanted to enact a strategy to address a crime problem, we enacted that. We worked together. We used the resources that we have on investigations, net, and all those different things, and just earn respect by valuing each other's knowledge and contribution to the team as a whole. And I also tried to create a peaceful environment out of chaos, because sometimes it can get crazy in police departments, as you know. And so I didn't make it harder than it had to be. They knew the expectations. They knew we came for a job. So if they needed time off and we were able to grant that, they did that, because you have a family. You got to take care of your business. But when you come back to work, we have a plan. We have a vision, so we can all get back on the same page. And as far as discipline, I prefer to coach, train first. If it's something really egregious, discipline, you may have to lead with that. Unfortunately, some things have led to firing, but prefer to train and coach first. And everyone knew too, I was more of a black and white person, a rules person. And I told them, I said, I know.
I saw that firsthand, by the way. Go ahead, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stop the knowledge.
But I ought to tell them. I was like, because I think that lets everyone know where you're coming from. I'm not going to just do it because I don't like you or something, try to go out the way. You know exactly what my decision is going to be based on. And I know everything isn't black and white, but I would say, hey, my gray area is light gray. It's very light gray. But nonetheless, we worked as a team and stuff just by valuing each other. And with the community respect me the same way. I was present, I was respectful, I addressed their concerns to the best of my abilities, and sometimes we didn't always agree, but they understood where my decisions were coming from. I will give you an example of one of the, I worked in a lot of high crime areas where I had a lot of shootings, and then I would have this gentleman who always complained about his neighbor's dog making noise. And I would address those concerns, dealing with code enforcement, noise violations, and those things. But he wanted an officer present, almost like on a walking beat, to deal with this issue. And I'm like, listen, I have shootings. I have shootings in the area. I say I have to prioritize that. You have to understand that. But we were able to make it work. But like I said, to be responsive to the complaints and address any, not just officer complaints and stuff like that in a respectful way. One of the things I did too was I was very diligent about knowing my area, and if I had a crime initiative where I would send officers into an area to address it, I would go first and inform the people in the community, I'm getting complaints about this. This is what's happening in this community. Officers are going to be coming to address these issues. So don't say that they're coming to bother you, because these are the issues. We're getting complaints that we're going to address. And so they respected that. So when they saw a higher presence of police in the area, they knew they just didn't come to bother them. They knew that they were coming to address the issue. Now, whether you choose to still, act, in that activity that we coming to address, everybody grown. Everybody grown. So, but that's some of the strategies that I used.
Two things that you said that made me think of stuff was with the team. One thing that I did too is, I think as leaders, you can't be afraid of the next generation of leaders. And so, like you said, you allowed your team to tell you different things, where areas that you were weak in. I did the same thing, but also allowed them to lead, be able to move forward, especially if they had aspirations to be leaders.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that's something that I allowed to happen. And then community-wise, I remember I met someone who had to do some sort of event or something in your community. And so they wanted to do something against what the city of Miami promised them, and you held them to that. And so just me working in the community from a union standpoint, I bumped into this gentleman. And so he was like, man, your wife is firm. She's tough, but she's fair. I may not agree with her, but man, you know what? I respect her. I respect her. So it was just good to hear that. And it was funny at the time too. And so to this day, if I see him, he'll always bring it up. Man, your wife tough, but she fair. So it's true that you have to establish some boundaries. You have to be able to work and be flexible with your team and with the community. But as long as everybody knows, hey, the rules are the rules. This is where we come from, and whatever we could do to help each other get better, let's do it.
Yeah, agreed. Because at the end of the day, the police and community, we all want the same thing. We want a safe community.
Exactly.
We all want a safe community. So we just have to work together to get there. And communication goes a long way in how we get there.
Oh, for sure.
So with that, that's another episode of Carr2Carr Podcast. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and also to comment.
Until next time.
Thanks for watching.